Hello world, welcome back to the Razor RC, and we got a brand new kit in the workshop. This is the Team Associated RC10 B74.2, a 4-wheel drive 110 scale electric race buggy. Just came out, I think about a week ago they started shipping. So brand new kit from, arguably the largest manufacturer in the 110 scale racing scene. And yeah, this is super exciting because I'm a big fan of 4-wheel drive buggies, and so always great to see a new vehicle from the largest company out there, probably the most popular vehicle you can buy. And they do feature some updates. So there's obviously an update to the B74.1, which I had. And they did change some things, and from what I hear, it's actually running pretty good. So the main differentiations between the previous one is the diff boxes. So I did make some comments in the B74.1. It was a bit of a heavy vehicle. They did have kind of these like aluminum braces that the diffs would mount into. They changed that. I think one of the main goals of this vehicle is to make it lighter, a little bit more corner speed, handle a little bit quicker. So a lot of that changes is really geared towards doing that. They also went to the 13mm big bore shocks, which they first introduced on the the B6.4. So this is the new standard in Team Associated 13mm bore shocks, something Schumacher's had for a long time, and I think works a little bit better on those high traction surfaces like carpet, AstroTurf, that kind of thing. I think it is a little bit of an advantage. They did change the suspension arms, so they are gull-wing front arms. The gears are now using what they call the LTC differential gears. I think they're basically larger spaced teeth, so not quite as finely teethed, and they are steel out of the box, although they do make plastic versions like I got here, so you can pick those up if you want a little more lightweight. Did redesign the battery strap, so that was one of my complaints with the B74.1. I was not a big fan. They went to kind of this elastic polymer style battery strap, kind of first introduced in the TLR 2250. But now Team Associated did use it. 3.5mm turnbuckles, again, kind of a change here. So previous turnbuckles I think were 1/8 inch. So they did upsize them now to 3.5mm, which is the same size as TLR. So TLR has been using those for, I don't know, close to a decade or something like that. Adds a little more durability. Not that I really had issues with the old B74.1 or any of the previous Team Associated vehicles, but it is nice to have a little bit beefier turnbuckles, a little less likely to break. They did redesign the fan mount. It's on top of the motor rather than the end can. The wing mounts, there are a couple different options now. You can lower the wing for, sort of lower ride height, smaller diameter tires. The slipper, I don't think it's changed. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. It's the same as the B74.1. And then the aluminum steering rack, they do have a plus 3mm option or location. I don't remember if the B74.1 had that. I think it did, but someone correct me if I'm wrong. That is something featured on the B74.1. So now, this does come in two versions as always. It comes in the regular B74.2, which is their carpet AstroTurf version, and then they also have the B74.2D, which is their dirt version. And I will have links in the description below if you want to pick these up. That does help out support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. Or if you want to buy anything, honestly, from those links, whether you want to buy a TLR or an Arma or a Traxxas or an X-Ray, whatever you buy, it does help support the channel. So I do appreciate that if you go there. Some of the option parts I am going to be installing because this is going to be a 13.5 turn stock spec racing 4-wheel drive vehicle. I did pick up a set of the Wits Racing brand new B74.2 full kit ceramic bearings. I highly recommend these for stock spec. Pretty much only two things I consider kind of a must-have for stock spec racing. One is the ceramic bearings. We do have a 20% off coupon code where you can pick up those. And then also the plastic gears. So the front and rear differentials do have steel gears. I think plastic creates quite a bit less weight. They will hold up to 13.5 turn motors. Not really recommended for mod motors or super high powered vehicles, but for spec racing, that is what you would want. Factory seals we are going to cut open. I have not looked inside this box yet. You got the triple sealed, triple protected boxes from Team Associated, and here's what you got inside. So here are some of the shock parts. So titanium nitride coated shocks, aluminum adjusters, a lot of different ride heights for the spring cups. Looks like spring wise you got blue, and I'm not sure what the rear is, maybe blue and red. So front I think is red, blue is rear. These are going to be the, what do they call it, the V2 springs as usual. Yeah, just a nice set of machined pistons. Of course, I think the the little Spacers and inserts in the bottom of the shocks are still molded plastic. You will have to cut off part trees. Here's bag 5. This looks like carbon fiber wing mounts, or I'm sorry, shock towers, rear wing buttons. Here's the wing mounts, so all the wing options. For the back of the end of the vehicle, this looks like the front steering and suspension parts. So you got drive axles, the aluminum hexes. These are going to be the 5mm, so I think that is the front hexes. Spindles, the carbon fiber steering arms they call them, and what is the size of these drive shafts? 74mm front drive shafts with CVAs, of course. Then we got the new turnbuckles. I believe these are different because the turnbuckles are increased in size. They don't look that much bigger, but okay, if they're 3.5mm, who am I to argue with them? But I assume, yeah, the ball cups look a little bit larger to accommodate the larger size diameter turnbuckles. Steering rack, plus 3mm steering rack. It does kind of have the centering hole to help you identify the middle of travel, the steering posts and steering bell cranks there. Look, that's the carbon fiber attachment point for the drag link. Here are the differentials. Steel ring gears, of course, steel internal gears, which I will swap out. Steel, or these, no, looks like aluminum cross pins, so that's nice. Paper gasket, which is nice. Plastic composite diff cups, which is totally fine for a mod or spec vehicle. Differential halves, so these are going to be the brand new pieces. So the rear, I believe, has 4 different positions for the basically the axle height or diff height, plus from 0 to +3, and then the front they just have 2 different positions, I think probably with a spacer, not 100% sure, but yeah, less adjustability on the front end, basically a low height for carpet or astroturf, and then a high height for the is that correct? Yeah, no, I'm sorry, high height would be for low ride heights, and then a low height for high ride heights. And then here are your oiled bearings. So I will be swapping those out. They're half shielded, half metal shielded. So that's interesting. I don't know what these little aluminum pieces are. I think these are for the drive shaft covers, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, differential parts. All the arms, all the inserts. So the ABCD blocks do use the pill insert system for a lot of different options for tow, anti-squat, sweep, kick up, that kind of thing. The ABCD aluminum hinge pin braces there. The arms, front and rear are now going, so that's a little bit of a change there. Front bumper, pretty minimal. Here is the center differential, looks like. So plastic spur gear, slipper plate. So the B74.2 comes with a slipper. I believe the 74.2D comes with a center differential. Rear hubs, standard inserts that you can use to adjust the axle heights. Here's looks like the 6mm hexes. Rear dog bones, I believe, or rear drive shafts are 66mm. Side guards, center chassis braces, a bunch of screws. Bag 1, so this is where you're going to start. Weight 151.4 grams. Interesting. I guess that's a quality control thing, so they can make sure they got the right pieces. Yeah, so just all the chassis pieces. The battery strap here. Looks like there's 2 different battery straps, probably for a full height battery and a low profile battery. So yeah, this is obviously going to use a single shorty battery. Here are the Servo Horns. I never had an issue actually with the plastic ones on my B74.1, so I probably will still stick with plastic unless I can find an aluminum one. I don't know if I have one handy. Here's a servo mount. There's a nice little carbon fiber piece. The servo steering mounts. I think it is a floating servo mount, they call it. Aluminum brackets there to mount it. And then the body looks the same to me, not 100% sure. Yeah, I think it's the same body as before, so sounds like the old chassis or old body will probably mount to the existing chassis. Shock fluids, looks like 30, ooh, looks like it leaked, but anyways, 35 weight, I'm guessing rear, 45 weight front, 15 Okay, in the differentials, here is the chassis, super skinny, super lightweight, 70-75. I think it's like 2 or 2.5 millimeters in thickness, so very lightweight. It looks like a new part, B74.2 chassis there. So, addition to that, you finally have stickers, a little like turnbuckle wrench, some Velcro to mount the body, some servo tape, and then finally in the box there is the sway bars front and rear. So I believe the sway bars are the same in dimension front and rear, so if you buy one set it would work on both the front and the back. So that is pretty nice. But yeah, that's a look at what we got inside the box for the Team Associate B74.2 brand new 4-wheel drive race kit. From what I've heard, this thing is a lot faster than the old one. My comments on the B74.1 is, you know, a little bit heavier than some of the other vehicles like the X-Ray or the 22X4, which I also have, but easy to drive, a little more stable. This one, I think they probably went more for corner speed, for you know, quickness, steering, that kind of thing, because that was kind of the area where I think some of the other vehicles had an advantage. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe buttons. Look for more videos soon, and thanks for watching.